Now, if you want to sleep like a baby, you definitely want to watch this video. Of course, babies are up all night crying, and I'm being very sarcastic. This video is kind of a remake of a video I did a year ago on consuming kefir in the evening to improve your sleep. Kefir is way, way better than yogurt, and I'm going to talk about why. When you consume kefir, you're giving these microbes a place to live. And in exchange, it gives you a lot of other benefits. The big one is going to be sleep. So how can kefir help you sleep? Well, first of all, what is kefir? Kefir is a fermented drink. So you have like 5 times the microbes in kefir than in yogurt. Plus, kefir has a combination of both bacteria and yeast, okay? It even has friendly candida. It's not until that candida turns into more of a pathogenic version that it becomes a problem. So it's a combination of these microbes that help you make serotonin. Now, serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and 90% of all your serotonin is made in your own gut. But here's the thing, it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier into the body. Instead, it can act as a precursor to help you make melatonin, which is the sleep neurotransmitter. So these microbes from kefir actually go into the body and they inoculate or seed your microbes to help you grow more microbes in actually the right balance. And the microbes from kefir actually can survive the stomach acid, whereas yogurt, it doesn't survive. Now, there's definitely benefits to yogurt because it can act like a food for certain things in your gut. But kefir actually is a probiotic, okay, that can help your gut by providing the precursor to melatonin, but also it can help lower cortisol, which is the main stress hormone. And if you have that cortisol pumping through your blood, you're not going to sleep. The beneficial bacteria and yeast in kefir can help break down the protein in milk, like casein and other proteins, into a digestible protein. So even though a person has an allergy to milk, it's much less with kefir because of this microbial decomposition of the protein. Also, kefir tends to eat up a good portion of the lactose, the milk sugar, which many people have a problem with. They have lactose intolerance. Now, a certain strain of microbe called lactobacillus can produce a compound that is an ACE inhibitor. It's something to help relax your blood vessels, to increase oxygen and blood flow through the body, which helps you sleep better. This kefir also makes B1, which is essential for reducing stress, anxiety, and building up your parasympathetic nervous system. B1 is kind of like a precursor for something called acetylcholine, which is the neurotransmitter for the parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest and digest. Kefir will help you absorb minerals like calcium, which is basically in this fermented milk product, as well as magnesium. So having a little calcium and even magnesium in the evening is really good for sleep. But in addition to sleep, these microbes in kefir help with a lot of other things too. It can help reduce allergies, asthma, help balance your cholesterol, help with any digestive bloating or constipation, and help your immune system. Now, there's some updates from my previous video. Number one, for those people who are on keto that are doing intermittent fasting, it might be best to consume the kefir at your last meal instead of right before bed, even though a lot of people do it right before bed and it helps them. But if you're doing the intermittent fasting program, just take this at the end of your last meal. If you have the option to have either sheep or goat milk kefir, go for those. Now, if you have the option to be in a certain state like California, which sells raw milk kefir, go for that. Recently, I was in California and I found some raw milk kefir. It was amazing. It was without the sweeteners. It was with no fruit. I think they had a little turmeric in there and cinnamon. And this was cow's milk, but it was raw. It was amazing. And if you can't find raw milk kefir, you might want to consider making your own from raw milk. I do it occasionally, and what you would do is you have a couple options. You're going to buy the starter. It's kind of like a kefir grain, and you're going to add that in a certain amount to the milk, either cow's milk, sheep milk, or goat milk. And then you have an option of keeping the lid either open or closed. Now, if you keep it open, you'll put some like cloth over it or some type of netting, or you'll just make it closed. Now, each of those methods create a slightly different effect on this kefir. When you keep the lid open, okay, you provide more air, you support the aerobic microbial growth versus the lid closed, which you're supporting the anaerobic microbial growth. And anytime you provide more air to fermentation, you get more of a yeast growth, a hint of sourdough bread, but less sour. Whereas the anaerobic, where the lid is closed, it's going to be more sour because of the lactic acid. So when you go out and get kefir, don't get the low fat, get the whole milk, get the plain version, and you might just find yourself sleeping so much better. Now, because of the censoring and the suppressing of the algorithms on YouTube, it's becoming more difficult to find my content. And there's a lot of content that I cannot put on YouTube, unfortunately. So to make sure you have full access of all my information, go to drberg.com and subscribe to my newsletter by clicking the link down below in the description. I will see you on the other side. I mean, just read the comments in my first video on kefir just to see the amazing success stories. And I'll put that video up right here. Check it out.